Hey guys, welcome to Life Success New Zealand. My topic today is rejection. Now, rejection is an emotional cuts and scrapes of daily life. We have experienced these kind of things in so many ways, like somebody at school, or your past when some kid has been mean or turn you down or walked out on you. Someone didn't invite you to a party and you feel left out, or even when it comes to old friends who joined something and they walked out and didn't want to know you. You haven't been around them for ages and you haven't seen them for a long time. That has happened to me from experiences who or being bullied. That can happen even in families. I've experienced that where one of my ex-partners' family members was abusing me in some way and rejecting me and didn't really welcome me into the family and didn't treat me with respect regardless, and that was really hard, really, really, really tough, and I ended up walking out of that relationship. So finally getting through to the gruntlet of the situation, rejections only discover the entirely new array of rejection experiences awaits us as adults. We get turned down by political dates and refused by employers, sneered and snobbed by other people, sexual advances, or our neighbours give us a cold shoulder, family members that shut us out of their lives, which has happened to me. My siblings don't want to know me. They haven't spoken to me. They haven't texted me. They haven't called me. Nothing. They don't want to know me. I have never heard from them, and no matter how much I've tried over the years, it always questioned me why. Why are they doing this? So, rejection is a physiological cuts and scrapes that tears our emotional skin and penetrates our flesh. Some rejection, however, are so severe that create deep physiological gashes that bleed and require urgent attention. Others are like emotional paper cuts and sting for a bit and then, we get back to normal. But for some who are sensitive, those who are emotionally sensitive, they basically struggle with it. So in some form or another, we have a clear understanding. And in our emotional thoughts and behaviours, such as the case, drastically underestimating ourselves, and the pain and rejection then becomes a wound and created. So what causes distinct physiological wounds? Severity depends on the situation of emotional health at that time. Specifically, rejection in emotional pain is so sharp it affects our thinking, floods us with anger and bitterness and difficulty and confidence and self-esteem and basic stability in our lives. Fundamental feeling of belonging. And that I have experienced. I've had a partner walk out on me randomly. He chose to walk out. He didn't make it clear to me what was happening. It was pre-planned. And that really broke my heart when someone has pre-planned stuff behind my back. It was like backstabbing. So many of these can be quite difficult to overcome. So they become infected and physiological complications that seriously impacts our mental well-being. And when rejection, we experience a substantial urgency of treating our wounds with emotional first aid is far greater to minimize the risk of infections of it. So emotional healing process is important to overcome it, and we fully appreciate and with gratitude. So emotional pain, why even stupid rejection's smart situation. Imagine you're sitting in a waiting room and two other strangers in the spot, ball of a table, picking it up and tossing it to the other. And the person then smiles and looks over and tosses the ball at you. Let's assume that Your tossing and catching abilities are up to the task, but you toss the ball back to the first person, who quickly tosses it to second. But then instead of tossing it to ball to you, the second person tosses it back to the first person. However, that will make you feel like awkward in that situation. Would you feel hurt, or would you feel affect your mood? What would your self-esteem be? And most of us would scoff the idea two strangers didn't pass me the stupid ball in a waiting room. Big deal. Who cares? Right? So it's been one of those things where we do take it personally. We do take it to the next level. And because our emotions are so strong, we end up in a position where we can't handle it. So how do we overcome it? Well, we've come across it in so many different ways and impacts our emotional well-being. However, it's like a punch in the stomach or stabbed in the chest. True for most of us, but actually when physiologists ask people to compare their pain of rejection and physical pains and they've experienced, and they rated their emotional pain as equal in severity, which associates the natural childbirth and cancer treatments. As counterpoint, I consider that emotional, painful experiences as intense disappointments and frustration or fear, or while highly unpleasant and pale in comparison to rejection when it comes to the pain they cause. But why do rejection hurt so much than other emotional wounds? The answer lies in our voluntary past. Humans are social animals, and being rejected from tribe, social group, our situation past would have meant losing access to food, protection and mating partners, and making it extremely difficult to survive. Being basically in a position where receiving a death sentence because consequences of this situation, our brains develop early warning signs and system alert. So, triggering a sharp pain whenever we experience it, hint of social rejection. In fact, the brain can show that very same brain regions get active when we experience rejection and we experience physical pain. Remarkably, however, the situation is negative emotions like embarrassment can be quite normal for most of us. So, what are we going to do about this? Well, end of the day, we can rewrite these stories and know that God is stronger than what we think, what we expect him to be. So hang on to God and trust him. Trust him in everything, because some people can take us on a different level than we expect. Search your soul, and hopefully you will see that there is something there, and rewrite that story and connect with it and go, okay, I'm stronger than this. My insecurities, I can get past them and I can be stronger. And if this kind of situation comes up again, I will overcome it and I will be stronger. And you know what? You're going to be an example for other people who have dealt with it. And I really do hope you guys find inner peace with it. Ciao for now, guys.